I went to a high school, which we found out had a, with the St. Mike's, there was some pedophilia going on there too. Like
From the teacher level,
the teacher level, the priest and stuff too. So when you see celebrities and stuff now, and you're seeing that you see the groups, it was called MEMLA, Men and Boys Alliance, whatever it's called, and they're trying to promote pedophilia, and you see tech talks about women talking about how pedophilia just should be a sexual preference.
Yeah.
And then now all things are going to cover from the elites, which I've been talking about for 15 years when I was first getting into the what's quote unquote conspiracy theories. Now they're not so much conspiracy.
So you've been on this,
and it's disgusted me from day one. Disgusted me. And I'm just like, I look at my child and I am absolutely disgusted. Like, who thinks that that's even a good thing? I hate to say this for my Muslim friends too, but even Muhammad, and being a 50-year-old man, married a woman who's a girl who's 6 years old, but didn't have consensual sex. They said until she was 9. So this has been going on, and he was in elite status. Like, to me, that's absolutely disgusting. I don't get and it was documented that he was one of his many wives. So it's been going on for a long time. Like, we see it in our present day now, but it's like, come on, like, you're supposed to be a religious leader too, and pedophilia was okay back then. But even wait a second, and let's even go back even further. The Greeks. So the Greeks, the philosophers used to have sex with their young boys at their proteges, and that's how they bestowed knowledge on them.
My skin crawls when I hear these type of things because it is just so sick.
You're ruining that child
forever.
There's no amount of therapy that you can take that'll take away that scarring. You're ruining that child.
Yeah.
And other generations. And sometimes those ones that are being abused become the abusers. So it's just feeding into, and how many people more are they going to abuse? And it just keeps leading on to other abuse and more abuse and more abuse.
What I find surprising is the way that it got infiltrated to the church, because it's such a juxtaposition when you're thinking about, we're talking about God, we're talking about religion here. Right. And then you have the people who are the biggest proponent of living like a very clean, supposedly
outward looking. But if you know, you know.
Yeah. And then the most sickos out, the biggest sickos out here. What share your insights into that, because you've read more about this. You know what goes on. When did the church start becoming so?
I think it's always been
defiled.
I think it's from day one. I think it's from day one. Listen, the Catholic Church started from Constantine. Constantine was a sun worshiper. He was and you can go back into time if you Google yours, as well. But he was a pagan sun worshiper, right? And he saw that he was a Roman ruler, and he saw that he was losing the battle to Christianity. So he decided to not change paganism. What he says, they sprinkled holy water on paganism and made the Catholic Church. That's why they switched the day from Saturday, which is the true God's Sabbath day, is still Saturday, 7th day of the week. 7th day of the week is Saturday. That's what it is. That is God's day. It's part of the 10 commandments. It's part of it's the 10th. It's one of the commandments. Absolutely. It is God's day. Well, Constantine, as a sun worshiper, changed, and he canonized, or he sprinkled holy water and said, oh no, we can now worship on this Sunday. And to me, the reason why I left the Catholic Church and I haven't joined another church is I haven't found any church which wasn't infiltrated by the Catholic Church or had some sort of influence from the Catholic Church. Because as soon as I find out you're worshiping on a Sunday, I'm out. And I don't agree. We talked about Seventh-day Adventists. There's issues with the Seventh-day Adventists too. But anyway, if you're not taking God's law, as he said to me, is a problem. So there's a lot of practices in the pagan religion. A lot of it revolves around sex. So if you look at any religious church or Catholic Church, you see the words IHS. And they'll tell you it's in his service. In reality, it's their unholy trinity: Isis, Horus, Set. And that goes back to the phallic symbols, the penis and the vagina, which is in St. Petersburg, which is a pagan phallus. Where the Washington Monument is a phallus symbol. Their whole religion, Isis is the woman, is the head of the church. Horus was the husband, and then he was ripped apart in pieces, and his penis was ripped off. They could never find it, and then they made this phallic symbol, of which she had sex with him afterwards, and they had the sun set. So their whole religion is based on sex. So of course, if you have a pagan religion based on sex and you just baptize it, let's call it, and start calling a pagan religion Christianity, it's still going to have undertones of sexual misconduct. If you looked at Saturnalia, which is the sun, which is Christmas, that was outlawed in many countries because all the debauchery, the amount of sex and orgies and animals, kids, and disgusting things happening over there. And now they call it Christmas, and they change it with the Yule logs and burning human sacrifices, all this stuff too. These are things that they condone from the beginning of time. So you're trying to tell me now the Catholic Church wasn't aware of that? That's part of their origin. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's not far off to say, like, it's part of their origin. This is who they are.
Yeah, this is who they've been. Going back to what you said earlier, right? We're talking about the TEDx talk, right?
Oh,
so
God.
The lady's name is Miriam Heine, and she had a TEDx talk which is titled "Pedophilia is a Natural Sex Orientation." Essentially, she's arguing that it should be seen as an unchangeable sex orientation. And like, I mean, when you hear that, such a statement that's being made, like, what are the thoughts that come into mind? Because now we're entering a place where we have all these different genders. You can be gender fluid. You could be non-binary. You could be all these different things. And now you're adding pedophilia as a sexual orientation. So gay, straight, pedophilia. And
it's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Then why not throw bestiality in there? Why not throw incest in there too? Since we're going in there, let's just do it.
Just toss it in.
Toss in there. Let's go. We'll have multiple partners. What's it called? When the Mormons have many wives. Polygamy. Yeah. Let's throw polygamy in there too. Where do you stop?
It's not going to stop. And I feel like we've opened up a can of worms with allowing truth to go out the window. It's now seen as you're uncomfortable calling out things as they are. You just gotta like be reclusive and just kind of back up and like, I know what my eyes are telling me, but I gotta disagree with that just to make everybody else uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's the thing now that with this sexual orientation, I can't call out what's disgusting. I can't call out a pride parade and I'm seeing a little 6-year-old girl with a grown man waving his privates in front of her. Like that is now, and that's you see, that's where this sexual orientation thing, it's going to become a thing. Because if we're allowing that right now and we're seeing all these parents with little kids allow that, then how far, like what's too far if that's too far?
There is no end. Mm-hmm. There is no end.
There's none.
Yeah, so I just don't see it ending well. And I don't see it ending well for anybody. If you look at past cultures, and one of the things I was reading this article, and I don't care if people come at me, but it was looking at all the past civilizations, and the downfall started when homosexuality became the norm in the society, because it started to lead to other things, which we're seeing now. So we're talking about Atlantis, we're talking about the Greek culture, we're talking about the Roman culture. It went back and talked about all of these civilizations, Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? So it's not going to end, and it's not going to end well. If past history has told us that this is the end of civilization, and again, these are not my words, so how you cut this up in the clips and stuff too, and people can come at me. It's not me saying this, but I got to find.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. But they're saying one that begins, and it was because it just led to other immorality, and then where do you stop? Right now. I have gay and lesbian friends. I have, we're not saying, I don't even know what we're saying there too. I have no problems again. I have nothing. You do what you need to do. Like, I don't care about your sexual, and even some of my clients are amazing people. I'm just telling you what I read, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah. I think I figured it out. I think the issue people like you and even me, we have is we are taking a minority, like a 1% group of people, and we are taking their ideologies, the way they're living, and we are trying to force it on the majority. And if you call it out as blasphemous, if you say that's not right, you're being chastised for in all kinds of ways, from like family, friends, economically, you're going to lose a lot of things coming your way. And I don't know why this is becoming thing. And it goes back to what we was talking about, like the whole thing, we're trying to pull everything away from God. We're trying to pull things away from the the way things are supposed to be. And
Yeah.
someone can come and challenge us, be like, what makes your way the way that things are supposed to be, right? And that's also a fair thing to ask.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So it is fair. And that's what I say I'm just telling what would have happened in the past. Now, I'm not condemning that. I'm not saying people shouldn't be gay, lesbian, and all that stuff too. That's not what we're saying too. But I think it's how society reacts to it, and how then once one thing gets accepted, which is not seen as the norm, it becomes a slippery slope. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I think that's what the author was alluding to. Again, we're not saying that it was this sole act of gay and lesbian that's why the society started to go down. It's what followed after that.